Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about some of my fun times with my cousin Zeke. Zeke is quite a character, let me tell you. One of my favorite childhood memories is we were all at my grandmother's house. They used to live like close to my grandma, and so did we. And Eli, my brother, was climbing the tree. It was a big magnolia tree, and they're really good for climbing. So he's climbing up this tree, and Zeke is like yelling at him or whatever. And Eli's natural response is to pull down his pants and pee on the child. And so Zeke gets drenched, and I unfortunately am the one who gets in trouble because I am like 12 and the rest of them are like 8 and 6. And I am the one who is in trouble now. So yeah, that I don't think was quite fair, but it was funny nonetheless. Another time, I was visiting them in Alaska, and I was always the popcorn maker while we were up there. I have like a recipe that I like to use, and I make good popcorn, if I do say so myself. I'm kind of the popcorn connoisseur of the family. You have to understand. I'm like the Lord and Savior of popcorn. And I was teaching them how to make popcorn because they wouldn't have me forever. In fact, they would only have me for about a month. So I was showing them one day how to make the popcorn, and I was like, whatever you do, don't put the burner that you are melting the butter in on high. You want to have it on like 4 at the highest. And of course, Zeke, thinking he knows it all, puts it on high anyway. It's a very Zeke thing to do. And what ends up happening is, if you've never melted butter before, once it gets past a certain temperature, it starts to like boil and erupt. And so it's like popping and bubbling and erupting. And I was working on the popcorn, so I didn't notice this. And so Zeke sees that it's doing this, and his initial response is to grab the lid for the pot and put the lid on it. Instead of moving it off the burner or turning the burner off or anything, he runs to the other side of the kitchen and grabs the lid. And as he's running back, he slips. And Zeke, he's a little clumsy from time to time. He slips and tosses the butter thing up in the air. And it's like exactly like a cartoon. It comes down and lands on his head after like going all the way up to the ceiling, and he's on the floor. And at this point, I've moved the butter off the burner. I'm addressing the situation. It was really funny. It was just like a cartoon. Zeke was always extremely obsessed when he used to live here with my grandma's iPad. And he wanted to play Minecraft on the iPad all the time. And whenever my brother and I would come over, he had Minecraft on his iPod and I had it on my iPad. And we'd play together. But I enjoyed a little bit of trolling here and there. I liked to set my name as Hero Brian. And he believed it. He definitely believed it. And I would come up and like blow up his things, and he's like, Brian blew up my things again. And he'd get all pissed at Hero Brian. And then Eli would be like, it's Sage. And then my younger cousin Zane would be like, yeah, it's Sage. And Zeke would be like, is it really you? And I'd be like, no. And he'd be like, Hero Brian. And so yeah, I did that a lot to the poor child. He probably has trauma at the mention of the name now. When we were in Alaska, he would always like go to the Radio Shack, because they still have one of those, and pick out movies for us to watch. And he picked out some pretty good movies. But he also picked out some movies he definitely was not allowed to watch. Now, would the story be more interesting if I remembered? Probably. But I don't remember what the movie was. I do remember we watched this one movie. It might have been called Escape Room, and they were trying to escape from a room. And we watched this one movie called Happy Death Day, which I liked, and then we got the sequel too. I thought it was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed greatly. Don't know if it's a good movie, but I like it. I tend to like movies most of the time. I never really find a movie that I despise or anything like that. At one point, one of Zeke's friends was having a birthday party, and so naturally I went because why not, you know? Just invite myself to my younger cousin's friend's birthday party. And it was on like a lake or a pond, maybe more so. And there were a bunch of paddle boards and everything. And so I would paddle this one kid around, and he would use his paddle to smack other children. I thought it was great. An excellent use of time, for sure. Zeke has a very interesting Snapchat account as well. He posts some incredible stuff. I always enjoy seeing his stories and his TikToks. They're amazing. Just the greatest. And yeah, those are stories about my cousin. This is a different cousin than the one who I always compete with to get corpses, but yeah. Fun times. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, be sure to graffiti the URL of my channel across your town. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Adios.